But no one notices her in the corner. They're all excitedly babbling about the soup and the ice cream at the dinner banquet, the legendary ingredients and the guests of the owner, Cabernet. This happens again on her second try. Lamia even ponders using her powers to drive out the crowd, but she can't attract attention like that or else she won't be able to escape. You can just probably run out. Alright, she could also be turned into food or something if she doesn't do all that. She needs a reasonable and convincing incident to inherit the position of president. She must use the dangerous monster down there as well as these mindless guests. From their conversation, Lamia can pretty much guess what the chef wants to do. The finest guests, the finest souls, the finest flavor. That fabled cannibal gourmand is in for a big treat. The elevator finally arrives for a third time and much smaller crowd pours in. They don't talk much, but when Lamia looks up, she locks eyes with the famous food critic.
Cabernet!
She quickly lowers her head and shrinks into the corner. For some reason, the critic eyes remind Lamia of the monster on level B2. Because she's a sinner too. Probably S-class.
So, there are monsters far scarier than me in this world.
The thing is, I just actually don't know what level of Cabernet is. I feel like, honestly, that this storyline, there are probably no S-rank sinners in this DLC. And if that's the case, our boy, MBCC Chief, could take them on. Until they use the famous weapon called a gun, which our character can't take on. There was just one floor down. The ride is called nauseating. Inside the tiny space that gets breached down your neck, and the 30 seconds yours. Yeah, we've already seen all this. The ordeal is even worse for Lamia. She can only keep her head lowered, covering her nose and mouth tightly to prevent her feeling from being noticed by the red-haired gourmet. Oh, she can notice feelings? Beside her is a poor soul who has also been squashed into a corner like her. The person seems to empathize with her and asks if she's okay. Lamia is caught off guard for a moment. She quickly pulls herself together and begs piteously.
Stop! Stop pushing! Let me out! It's dangerous here! Quick! Get out of here!
But it's no use. The person concerned about her didn't understand, while the others simply ignored her. The scorching sun is still shining and the empty swimming pool is eerily silent. Melting ice cream, coffee, and milky white soup are spilled everywhere. The predator's prelude has begun. And we got a plate. Let's look at that. Possessive. Summon a statue that cannot attack. That cannot attack to assist in battle. What does that even mean? Makes the selected unit invincible, which is great. I do not care for this one as much. I kind of want to try the statue one. That sounds fun. And look at what the new one is. Yeah, we already read this. Manicure cuisine is indeed amazing, but there is still a clear difference from the real Peach. In order to make herself similar to the real Peach, it goes to a great length to use a lot of sugar and artificial coloring. It's talking about like Instagram models and more people like who try to look like other people. Side ordered 6 unreasonable rules. Stupid and unreasonable game rules have made you lose your companions and your appetite. If you can't be an honorable one, the consequence. Yeah, we already read this. Oh, that's a cool room. Very cozy. The atmosphere on the floor has gradually changed, becoming illusionary, suffocating, and full of despair. Everyone's trying to act with compassion and honor, but the standards are becoming more and more vague. Fewer and fewer people are left. People realize that there's no way to fully figure out the rules if they don't dare to break them. With knives to their throats to rather feign whatever compassion and honor they can think of, even if it kills them. However, such an environment has spurred on the crisis. Some of the guests' mental states of extreme panic have caused them to get infected with mania and mutate into corruptors. As much as you dislike the guests, you can't just let corruptors run around. You try your best to fight them. Right now, a fully mutated corruptor has trapped you inside a room. You can only hide with Cabernet and Kelvin, waiting for the opportunity to counterattack.
Is this a deliberate part of her selection process? It's too dangerous!
What an insane game. In any case, we can't let her have her way in the end. Makira's aura is weakened but not completely disappeared, so those who have been eliminated should at least still be alive. We have to go to the next level down, which must be the source of all this.
But to do that, first, We have to leave this floor alive.
But how exactly do we win this game?
How to win the game, you don't know either. There are fewer and fewer people left, and whenever someone gets eliminated, the distorted expression of their face spreads like a contagious virus, imprinting itself on everyone else's mind. Even you're distracted by the panic thought, what if I'm eliminated next, or maybe I've already been eliminated? What does that even mean?
Chief, are you alright?
A tiny speck of ice lands on the tip of your nose, bringing you back to your senses. Kelvin's looking at you in worry. Don't worry, I'm fine. You smile at her, but you can't calm down. The more you think about it, the more you feel that you're the target of elimination. So many dangers along the way seem to have been targeting you, yet ended up hitting others.
Of course I'm not worried. I know you'll be fine because you're quite special, Chief.
Yeah, because of the shackles? Perhaps.
You and Miss Cabernet, and me and Miss Macchiato, everyone will be fine.
This is about to nod. A strange commotion appears by the door. Corruptors. Guess he was fully mutated into a corruptors, lurching towards the room you're in, clutching some unknown object in his hand. The thing in his hand is a mysterious ball of some sort, though you can't tell what it is. A gooey liquid drips down from it with every step he takes. He attacks someone else. But for you, this is actually a good thing. It's a sign for you to finish him off. But now, with only Kelvin by your side, you also have to protect Cabernet and the other uninfected guests. At this point, you don't want anyone getting hurt. It might sound ridiculous, but you don't want to play by McGrath's stupid rules. You want to take everyone to the finish line. The corruptor senses your presence in the room, but fails to find you. He had mutated into a corruptor from fear and anger, is now wantonly venting his rage, destroying everything he sees. The danger is edging closer. You grip onto a baseball bat that someone else dropped and gaze at Kelvin and Cabernet.
I got you, Chief.
Kelvin understands what you want. When your fingers count down to 0, you want the temperature of the room to drop below 0. And just like that, the mucus-covered corruptor gets frozen alive. Stand aside. And there he goes. You swing the baseball bat while Cabernet swings her cane. The double blow shatters the frozen corruptor. The ice slime sprays out from the shattered ice and tangles your feet like countless tentacles. Tracking the corruptor had already consumed much of your energy, and with your feet entangled, you fall down to the ground. You try to move your feet, but the mucus is firmly constraining you, making every move extremely strenuous. You don't have the energy for it anymore. What's going on? Are they being controlled by mania? Kelvin, try freezing them. Kelvin casts her power, but the slime can't be frozen at all. They are obviously controlled by a type of mania that's more powerful than Kelvin. Click. While everyone is focusing on the slime, you notice that the door to the room suddenly got locked. For some reason, Kelvin cannot unfreeze the room, and the cold seems to be even worsening. Cabinet thinks that you guys probably violated the game's rule in a stroke of bad luck.
Miss Kelvin, try turning your ice into a blade. Then maybe you can cut them. That way, we'll be able to look for clues to help us escape this icy chamber.
All right, I'll try.
Kelvin smashes the vase in a hurry and freezes the watery glass into an icy sharp blade. Her hands are red, trembling from the cold. She cuts the mucus, entangling you guys over and over again, but no matter how hard she tries, the slime just reappears to trap you again.
No. Chief, Miss Cabernet, don't worry. Hold on a bit longer. I will get...
Oops, sorry. Accidentally tapped. No, let's listen to that again, why not? No.
Chief, Miss Cabernet, don't worry. Hold on a bit longer. I will get you out of this.
our character does not activate the shackles unless he absolutely has to. There's been no like indication that the shackles like tire him out or like some crazy side effect or some shit. He can quite literally activate that at every second, but he only activates it when he absolutely fucking needs to, which is ridiculous. Kelvin is on the verge of tears. She tears down the curtain, but she's wrapping them around you and Cabernet. She goes on to search every corner of the room, sniffling all the way. But time is ticking and the temperature continues to drop. Though Kelvin is still fine, you and Cabernet are almost completely incapacitated by the cold.